Assalamu alaikum, girls. Hope you're all doing well today, inshallah. This is our first lesson on storage devices, which is chapter 3 from your syllabus. And today we will be covering section 3.1 and 3.2, and we will be looking at various storage devices and how they integrate into all the devices we've learned so far. As a starter, let's look and see what this picture means. So you can see that there's a guy who's overwhelmed by the number of floppy disks that used to be used for storage, and now that has become similar to just using 16 GB of a micro SD card. So you can see how storage has evolved over the years. Moving forward, the lesson objective for today is that we are going to try to identify what are storage devices, their associated media, and in particular, we are going to look at magnetic storage media, including fixed hard drives, portable ones, magnetic tapes, and so on. And we will also try to identify their advantage and disadvantage. The success criteria for this lesson is that we must be able to define the term backup and identify the different ways of backing up, be able to identify the various examples of magnetic storage devices, and you could explain the uses, advantage, and disadvantages of various ones. The history of storage devices, you can see an infographic over here which shows what devices have become obsolete over the years and what devices have been introduced and are continuing usage. You can see floppy disk became obsolete before the 2000, whereas hard disk drives, CD, DVDs, they are still being used. And the latest one we have is the USBs, the Blu-ray, and cloud. So what is backing up? This is what we are going to first look at today. Backing up means that you make one or more copies of your data in a different storage medium. So, what is the reason we would do this? One, that you can delete your file by accident and have it lost, or your computer could break down and you could lose a file, or your computer could get infected by a virus which can edit your data and you would lose data again, or your laptop can become stolen or damaged, or even hackers can corrupt your data. So, looking at all these reasons, most businesses and many personal users use computers to store very important data, and they make backups of this data so that no disruption is caused to the business. Especially for business data, backing up becomes very essential. You might have had instances in the past where you had some data on your laptop and your laptop hard drive got corrupted and you lost a lot of data. So, now thinking of why we need backups, we need to see how we can do it. Personal backups can be done on CDs, external hard drives, or even USBs or another computer on the network. You can copy your files there. Whereas business backups are where you make copies of data very regularly, even on a daily basis, and large capacity media such as magnetic tapes are used. We will go further into magnetic tapes in today's lesson. Also, business backups keep old copies of the backups just in case there is some need to refer to it. And the system is automated so that nobody forgets to do the backup each day. Also, another technique used is that business backups might keep a backup off site so that if there is a fire or theft in the company building, they still have the backup securely on another site. Backing storage, also called secondary storage, is the name for all storage devices that you have in a computer other than the main memory. So, this includes hard drives, CDs, magnetic tapes, and so on. And you know that backing storage is for the purpose of storing your data for long term. So, that means this is actually a non volatile data. This is the important bit here. Backing storage, also called secondary storage, is non-volatile and stores data for a long time. They tend to be slower to access than the main memory, but because they can hold data permanently, this is our intention to use backing storage media. Now, once data is backed up on your storage media, what are the two ways of accessing it? There are two ways of accessing stored data. It's called serial access or sequential access, and the second type is called direct access or random access. Let's look at what these two terminologies mean. Serial access or sequential access means that files are stored one by one in a sequence in your storage media, and you have to search through the files one by one until you get to the one you want. Examples include VHS tape, cassette tape, magnetic tape, and so on. So if I want to get to file number 7, I have to start from file number 1, go to file number 2, 3, and finally reach file number 7. In contrast, a direct or random access is where you will have files stored such that they can be instantly accessed, which means there is no need for you to search through files to get to the one you want. Examples of devices or storage media that use direct or random access are CDs, DVDs, flash drives, and so on. Here you can have instant access to your data, and when you want file number 7, you start from the beginning and directly access file number 7. Remember that serial access is also called sequential access. Also remember that direct access, another name for it is random access. Looking at the first kind of storage media that is part of our discussion today, magnetic storage media. The three devices we will be covering as part of magnetic storage media are HDDs, portable HDDs, and magnetic tapes. The fixed HDD, fixed hard disk drive, also called the internal hard disk drive, in short HDD, is a main backing storage device used by all the computers. It stores your operating system files, your other system files, any application data you have, all the files on your computer, including from your desktop, your documents, your images, videos, and so on. The kind of access type that is used in a fixed internal hard disk drive is direct or random access. So let's see what are its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of a fixed or internal hard disk drive is that it is less likely to break because it is fixed, and it has a high storage capacity compared to external drives. It also has a fast data transfer rate, which makes it suitable for regular use in the computer. The disadvantage of a fixed or internal hard disk drive is that it has more moving parts compared to solid state drives. And you might have had experience in the past where an incorrect shutdown procedure can cause the hard drive to malfunction. And even the read or write can be quite noisy compared to SSDs, which we will discuss soon. That is why when your computer or laptop is turned on, it makes a sort of humming kind of noise that is made by the internal hard disk drive. While it is running, it is quite noisy. Now, some features that are common to all magnetic storage devices are given on the right side here. Magnetic storage media devices, all of them store data in the form of tiny magnetized dots, and these dots are created, read, and erased using magnetic fields created by very tiny electromagnets. And you will see that this technology is the same for all the three magnetic storage devices which we are discussing today. So remember this bit as common for all the three magnetic storage devices. The second device we have in our discussion today is a portable hard disk drive or an external hard disk drive. As you can see, the technology it uses is the same as an internal or fixed hard disk drive. What is a portable hard disk drive used for? It connects to the computer via a USB port, and you use it to store personal backup of your data or transfer files between computers and devices. You might be using one to store movie files and audio files that you have. or photos from the past that you are saving and backing up. It is also a direct access or random access. So when you want to go to a file, you don't have to go from the beginning. You have a direct access to that file. The advantages of a portable or external hard disk drive is that because it's portable, you can transfer file between computers. It has a high storage capacity compared to optical disks, a fast data access time, and a fast data transfer time. The disadvantage is that it is more prone to damage because if you accidentally drop it and so on, it can get damaged. Also, if it is incorrectly ejected from the computer, it can be damaged. So, it is more prone to damage in general than a fixed or internal hard disk drive. The third device we are discussing today is a magnetic tape. As you can see, the technology used in a magnetic tape is the same as the previous two devices we discussed. The use of a magnetic tape is mainly in large organizations. They use it to make daily backups of their networks onto the magnetic tape. And this is used for long-term archiving of data, which means for long-term storage of data. The difference of a magnetic tape from the other two magnetic storage devices we discussed is that it has a serial access instead of sequential access. It has a fast data transfer time, whereas a slow data access time. That means for data to be put into it is very fast, but data to be taken out from it is a slow process. This is one of the main advantage and disadvantage of magnetic tapes. Other advantages include that it has huge storage capacity and it is robust, so business backups last for a very long time, and it is generally found to be less expensive than equivalent hard disks. The disadvantage of a magnetic tape, like we said, is a slow data access time. One of the reason for this is because it is serial access, so the tape reader has to start from the beginning to get to the data that it wants to reach. And also, like all the other magnetic storage devices, this is affected by magnetic fields. So that completes all the three magnetic storage devices that you are expected to know. Make sure you go through the advantage, disadvantage, and use for all the three magnetic storage devices. The quick questions we have for today. The first challenge question is, what are the three types of storage devices? So let's look back at the slides and see what are the three types of storage devices. The first type is a magnetic storage device, which is the one we discussed today. And in your next lesson, we will discuss optical storage devices and solid state storage devices. The next plenary question is to give three examples of magnetic storage devices. So there were three magnetic storage devices we discussed today: the fixed or internal HDD hard disk drive, the portable or external hard disk drive, and the third one being the magnetic tapes. The mega challenge question for today is to find out what is the advantage of a fixed or internal hard disk drive. We remember that the advantage is that it is fixed, so it is less likely to break. It has a high storage capacity compared to external drives, and it has a very fast data transfer rate as well. So that's all for today, girls. Make sure you learn the topic on storage devices well. And next lesson, we will be covering optical and solid state also. This is a very oft asked topic from the exams. That's all for today. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.